What's going on, guys, man? How y'all doing tonight? Man, been a long day, right? Hey, I got a message earlier on my Felonies to Recovery page, right? There was a lady reaching out to me, telling me how she just experienced her brother overdosing 5 days prior to getting out of prison. He died. That's how real this shit is, man. For real. And I guess what hits me hardest the most is I was that guy when I got released out of prison. I wasn't 100% sure, right? I truly wasn't. But I did it by God's grace. You know, when you lose a loved one and you're in recovery yourself, it seems like every excuse in the world to use, right? Because you don't want to feel like that no more. But she made it through it, right? She made it through it with the support of her family and her kids. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't hard for her. And that doesn't mean she probably hasn't had no thoughts on it. I'm not going to mention her name or nothing because I don't want to put her out like that. But I can tell you something, man. She messaged me because she said she could relate to my videos. That's what it's about, right? It's not about followers and about likes. Sure, it's nice to have a bunch of followers and a bunch of likes, right? Helps build the ego. But I didn't do this Felonies to Recovery page for that. I've done this page, built this page because I truly, honestly was that guy that had no hope, none whatsoever. I was riding 100 miles an hour to a brick wall and didn't even care. Didn't care who I hurt in the process. But you know, this last stint in prison, it really opened my eyes up, right? Getting older, realizing that this is where I was going to die at if I didn't change my ways, right? And by God's grace, I'm sober today. Like I've told you in previous videos, I got high all the way through prison. Every bit I ever did, I was high in it. Some way, some sort, always doing the most, right? I make these videos to give just this much inspiration to somebody, this much hope. Because you know, when I started going to meetings, I wasn't ready, but every meeting I went to, I heard just a little bit of something that stuck in my mind. And still today, I remember certain conversations with certain individuals in their meetings. There was times I went to meetings blowed out of my mind, but I still went. If you're struggling, man, reach out, Felonies to Recovery. I'm here to help you, man. I'm here to be a set of ears for you and not be judgmental for you. See, as we live our life in addiction, we get enough judging. You definitely don't need me to judge you, right? But what you do need is somebody that you can relate to, right? And I try to be that person. I try to be that shoulder for you to lean on, and them ears to listen to you, right? Because believe it or not, it helps me stay sober. It helps me stay accountable today, right? Heroin is a bad thing. Fentanyl is a bad thing. All drugs is bad. Heroin and fentanyl will take your life real quick, fast, and in a hurry, right? And if you're that addict that's getting ready to get high right now, remember one thing: tomorrow's not promised to us. And this is being real. That could be your last shot. And when that happens, you're going to leave somebody behind. that truly, honestly cares about you and loves you. Speak up. Talk to somebody. Whether it's my page or other pages out there or other individuals. If it's a random stranger, talk to them about your problem, right? You will find once you start to talk about it, it's easier to deal with. I've got stuff that happened to me in my past when I was a child, right? That used to stay on my mind. It made me hate people. Made me never trust nobody, right? As I started walking in my faith with Christ and I got sober, I started opening up about things and talking to people about them, right? Stuff that I'd be way, way embarrassed to talk to anybody about. But today, I have a certain group of people that I talk to about my problems. When I got this message earlier at work, it made me cry because I know where she's coming from. I've buried 3 of my best friends since I've been home. My mama had 6 kids and 3 of them's already dead. One of them died from a drug overdose. My other brother died from the COVID, and I got a brother that died from brain cancer. My baby sister died from an overdose. That's real. Tore my mom apart, right? And then here I am running the streets, getting high. She was scared to death for me, right? But today she don't have to worry about stuff like that. Today she knows that I stand on my own 10 and I handle my business. I take my recovery very serious today. My wife is very supportive in my recovery. She's not an addict. She never was an addict. But she's been around it as a child. And she knows that if I get high, I drink, I do something like that, it's all bad for her. Now see, I wouldn't never let nobody hurt her, but it would be me the one hurting her. And if I got back to slipping up, I'm shooting dope. That's what I did. It's what I enjoyed to do. I'm not going to sit on here and lie to you and tell you that I didn't enjoy it. There's a lot of good nights, but there was plenty more bad nights. And the worst part of it is when you sober up and you wake up and you're sleeping outside and it's raining outside, you got the same socks on, same clothes on, same drawers, stinking. You look up at the sky and you ask God why, right? I've been there. Then eventually your prayers get to take my life, man. Lord, why you let me live no more? Then you start shooting dope to die. It's a bad way to live, right? My heart hurts for every addict that is still struggling out there. I got homeboys that I love dearly. I truly, honestly love. But they choose to stay in addiction. And I can't be around that myself, right? I'm always going to be here for them to talk to me. Always be here to embrace them, hug them. When I see them, I embrace them, I hug them. But I cut the time short, right? Because all it takes is an old memory with the same people. And next thing you know, you're doing them same things again. I've came really far in my recovery in the last 3 years. A lot farther than what a lot of people thought I would come, right? I don't say that to boast and brag. I say that so I can be an inspiration to somebody else that's just like me, right? It's time we actually, honestly, man up and kick these drugs, right? If you are struggling in recovery, or you ain't sure if recovery's for you, please just remember one thing. Tomorrow's not promised. And after every storm, there's a rainbow. If tonight is your first night sober and you're going through it, withdrawals and all, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Lock yourself in the room, man. Cuss, scream, holler, punch the holes in the walls, do whatever you got to do, right? Just don't use. God will forgive you. If you need to cuss him out, he'll forgive you. Do what you got to do to get up off of it, right? Somebody out there truly loves you guys, man. And if ain't nobody told you today they love you, Felonies to Recovery does. It's the whole reason I built this platform. I love you guys, man. Stay sober.